Before the world knew her as the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin was just a girl from Memphis, Tennessee, with parents C.L. and Barbara Franklin guiding her. No wonder little Aretha's voice would one day reach the world. Stay tuned as we uncover 9 things you probably did not know about the Queen Aretha. Starting at number 9 is a fear that grounded the Queen. During a fateful flight in the early 1980s, Aretha encountered a storm that would change her traveling habits forever. The flight was supposed to be a routine hop from Atlanta to Detroit, but it became a nightmare. The small 2-engine plane was thrown into chaos, shaking through the air with such ferocity that it left her shaken to the core. The aftermath of this trip was a fear of flying that Aretha could not shake off. From that moment, Aretha's touring life transformed. She turned to her customized bus to travel the country for performances, interviews, and appearances. At number 8 is the godmother mix-up. Aretha Franklin was once rolled up in a case of mistaken identity. Not just any identity, Whitney Houston's godmother. In 2012, swollen feet forced Franklin to miss Whitney Houston's funeral regrettably. At the funeral, Dionne Warwick, Houston's cousin, made a heartfelt mention of Franklin, referring to her as Houston's godmother. That title belonged to Darlene Love, another powerhouse singer of their time. This misinformation was broadcast and had far-reaching consequences. Whitney's mother, Cissy Houston, tried to set the record straight soon after, but the mix-up lingered like a stubborn echo. Aretha Franklin, known for her no-nonsense attitude, did not let inaccuracies about her life and relationships go unchallenged. In 2017, a full 5 years after the funeral snafu, Franklin made headlines by sending a fax to the Associated Press. In it, without mincing words, setting the record straight. Coming in at number 7 is an incident in 1970. Angela Davis, a professor and activist known for her association with the Communist Party USA and her support for the Soledad brothers, found herself in the eye of a legal storm after being accused of supplying firearms for a courthouse takeover that turned deadly. She faced severe charges and a nation divided on the issue of her guilt or innocence. Amidst this turmoil, Aretha Franklin stepped forward as a beacon of solidarity and support, declaring her willingness to post bail for Davis. Franklin saw a black woman fighting for the liberation of their people and wanted to help. Despite Franklin's offer, a local farmer eventually posted the substantial bail required for Davis's release. Number 6 sees Franklin standing up again, this time at the Beacon Theater. Back in the swelter of 1998's showbiz calendar, Divas Live, a production of VH1, was set to feature a lineup of the era's most influential female vocalists. And at the helm was none other than Aretha Franklin, the original diva herself. Franklin had only one request: a turn-off of the air conditioning at the theater. Every precaution against the cold air was necessary for a voice like Franklin's, a simple yet non-negotiable condition for her participation. On the day of the rehearsal, anticipation hung as heavy as the velvet curtains. But so did the chill of the air conditioning, a direct breach of Franklin's stipulation. With the cool breeze of the AC whirling across the stage, the Queen walked out. She arrived on the night of the show, stepping into the venue with the poise and confidence that only a true legend could embody. Despite missing rehearsal time, Franklin's performance lost none of its luster or power. Number 5 is yet another example of Aretha's no-nonsense persona. The city of Detroit, famed for its rich musical heritage, hosted America's most watched sporting event, the Super Bowl. In the lead-up to the game, expectations ran high for a halftime show that would honor the city's legacy as the cradle of some of the greatest American music icons like Diana Ross, Stevie Wonder, and Gladys Knight. So, when the NFL announced the British rock legends, the Rolling Stones, as the halftime headliners, a wave of discontent surged through the city's populace. Aretha Franklin was among those who raised her voice in disappointment. Realizing the oversight, the NFL moved quickly to involve Detroit's talent in the festivities. Stevie Wonder was slated for a pre-game show, and in a rectifying gesture, Franklin was invited to lend her voice to the event, singing the national anthem alongside Aaron Neville. At number 4 is the symbolism of Aretha Franklin's purse. Aretha Franklin's presence on stage was an amalgamation of her soul-stirring talent and the formidable persona she projected. At the 2015 Kennedy Center Honors, Franklin stepped out in a lavish mink coat with a glittering clutch in hand. Before gracing the piano, she placed her purse upon it, a gesture that had become as much a part of her stage routine as her rousing vocals. This act was not merely for show. It was a tradition rooted in Franklin's early career experiences, where she learned the hard truths of the music industry's financial dealings. Franklin always insisted on receiving payment in cash before her performances, a practice she upheld throughout her life. Her purse symbolized her autonomy and assurance, a lesson from the past that she carried into every performance. Franklin's regard for financial respect extended beyond her personal practices to her views on gender equality in the workforce. She took a stand on the issue of equal pay for women, asserting that women who perform the same roles as men should not only receive equal compensation, but in some cases, merit more. Her lifelong generosity to New Bethel Baptist Church comes in at number 3. Aretha Franklin never strayed far from her spiritual and communal roots. Her father's church, the New Bethel Baptist Church in Detroit, was a beacon of her enduring faith and commitment to the community that nurtured her prodigious talent. Throughout her career, she ensured that the light of her success also shone on New Bethel. Aretha's contributions were both monumental and frequent. Several times a year, she wrote hefty checks, each amounting to $10,000, to support the church's mission. During the holiday seasons, when the biting cold of Detroit winters was fiercest, Aretha warmed hearts by giving out her funds to families in hardship. She sponsored lavish Thanksgiving and Christmas feasts, ensuring that her community's festive spirit never dimmed due to poverty. Number 2 is the Out of This World tribute by NASA to Aretha. She has a collection of Grammy Awards. Her voice rang out at the memorial service of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Years later, her rendition of My Country, 'Tis of Thee during President Barack Obama's inauguration reverberated with the weight of the occasion, symbolizing the distance traveled in the journey for equality and justice. She has also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2005. But perhaps the most celestial of tributes came in 2014 when NASA honored Aretha Franklin's otherworldly talent by naming an asteroid after her. This rare distinction offered a fitting metaphor for her radiant and enduring impact, which will continue to inspire for generations as the asteroid, like her legacy, continues its journey through the expanse of space. Finally, at number 1 is the underrated magic in Aretha Franklin's fingers. When the world remembers Aretha Franklin, it's often her voice that is heralded as the vessel of soul. But apparent within the layers of her vocal legend is a narrative not told enough. Aretha Franklin was also a virtuoso pianist. It was not just her voice that had a sense of time, it was also her command over the black and white keys of the piano. Her style fused the rhythmic genius of percussion with the melodic grace of a seasoned instrumentalist, making her a dual threat in the studio and on stage. Her producer, Jerry Wexler from Atlantic Records, recognized this and, in 1967, made the pivotal decision to let Aretha accompany herself on piano. That year marked the unleashing of Aretha's full musical expression, her piano playing with her singing to capture the full spectrum of human emotion. This was most evident in how she played the piano as if it were a drum, employing the feathery touch of a jazz artist and the authoritative strike of a soul musician, all while maintaining the precision of the finest classical pianist. The 1966 demo of Dr. Feelgood, Love is a Serious Business, is a prime showcase of her skill. Aretha was a complete musician and she will be sorely missed.